We may be talking about widows and widowers with our guests, but you can call in with whatever issue you are concerned about. And we will change our topic and to work with you to take your first step. One of our Changemaker guests today is Helen Crow, founder of the Widows Association, a woman of vision, brains, and the ability to stand up for what she feels is right. I've also invited Jim McShane, the current president, who has taken every job this organization has asked him to be ready to be able to lead this organization into this new millennium. Our changemakers today have an in-depth knowledge of how a complaint can be turned into results. Again, call us at 916-456-5199 to help you turn your idea, complaint, wish into something that will make a difference to this community, our planet Earth. Helen, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became the founder of a vibrant organization?
Well, needless to say, it wasn't what I started out to do in life, Reva. But
You didn't start out in life to be a widow?
No, I certainly didn't. I never gave it a moment's thought, unfortunately. But when my husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer when I was 49 and died shortly thereafter, I found that my entire world had been uprooted. And, it's interesting to hear you use the term complaint. I guess if I had a complaint that motivated me, it was that everybody I knew was married, and practically no single people in my life. And as most widows and widowers can tell you, your married friends drift away, and there you are. So I decided to do something about it.
Good. So how did you decide what to do? I mean, did you have a plan, or did you just kind of create as you went along? How did it start to happen for you?
I think I'd have to say I had no idea what I was doing. There was a small article in the Bee about a year after my husband died about a woman in Illinois that was trying to start a national organization for widowed people. And I wrote to her, and some other people in this community did too. Well, it didn't work out as with us affiliating with them. We tried that. But I invited 4 ladies to join me for brunch, and a couple of them brought friends. And so there were 7 of us at the beginning, all women. And we met, and I said, will you help me start something for widowed people in this town? And that was as far as it went. I thought if we had, I'd arranged for a room at a library for the next month, and we thought maybe 20 people would show up. And if we were lucky, we'd meet some new friends that didn't have husbands, and we'd have somebody to go to dinner and the movies with. Well, 75 people showed up, and it's never looked back ever since.
Wow, you could have filled up the theater just with your new friends.
Well, now we just started our 20th chapter around the state, because what happened when the Sacramento group was so successful, people from other communities said, we need something like this in our town. And I went to the chapter and said, will you help me do this? And they said yes, and some people even wrote checks to get it off the ground. So we've now have our 20th chapter, which is in Salinas.
Well, that's fantastic. It's an amazing thing, isn't it? You start off with a complaint, and before you know it, you've got 20 offices all over the state. Jim, let me ask you this. Jim McShane, who's the president of the Widowed Persons Association of California, Inc.
No, Chapter 1 I'm president of.
You're president of Chapter 1.
Sacramento.
Okay, very good. So tell us about how you happened to join and when you came into the process.
1993, and my daughter put me in because I was suffering so much.
What do you mean suffering? What were
Pain from the loss of my wife.
Where'd you feel that pain?
Well, you're in like a daze,
You were in a daze?
And you cry, and
you cried?
And you stay in the house. And
even big men cry, huh?
Even big men cry, yes.
That's okay?
It's all right with me. Yes, and then she put me in, and then
What'd she do, drag you, or how did she do that?
No, she just made a phone call. I went down to our Sunday support program, and so on, became a facilitator. And then I had responsible for the grief program in 97. And then they elected me first vice president and president.
Wow, so you've really gone through the chairs, so to speak.
So to speak, yes.
So to speak. So Could you tell us a little bit more about your grief and what it was like for you, a man, to be without a wife, and for the people who are listening in who might be in the same position as you are right now? And again, those of you who would like to call us at 916-456-5199.
Oh, well, at certain times of the day you would feel pain. 4 o'clock was for me in the afternoon. I'd jump in the car and get out of the house.
Mm-hmm. Were you safe on the road?
Oh, yeah, I was safe.
Good.
But what really changed it for me was actually the Sunday support of the Widowed Persons Association.
Well, what kind of support do other widows and widowers give to people there in that group?
Well, you're amongst people that are just suffering like yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's group dynamics after that.
Well, what does that mean, group dynamics?
Well,
What does that mean?
everybody
For those of you who haven't been in a group before.
Everybody helps the other person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And by that way, and if you help others, you help yourself.
Mm-hmm. So in what ways did they help you?
Well, I got thinking of the other people.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to the Recovery for Grief workshops.
Mm-hmm. Is that done by your organization
Yes.
also? Mm-hmm.
Before that, I went and took a trip to Ireland. And that was a mistake. I should have waited. But
What made it such a mistake?
Lonely.
You were lonely on the trip? Uh-huh.
Yeah, so then I went through the workshop, and that got me started, and went to Sunday support as a facilitator, and in the workshops as a facilitator. And it's helped me tremendous. So Helen started a worthwhile organization. Believe me, she did. So She deserves a lot of credit for her efforts, believe me.
Well, that's what I'm here to do right now, is just give her lots of credit and put her on the spot and have her share with our listeners ways that they too can be effective in the community. So maybe let's have her talk a little bit more about yourself and how it helped you heal by starting the organization.
Well, for one thing, it kept me very busy, and I didn't have time to sit around and feel sorry for myself. One of my favorite stories, my son used to come over a couple nights a week to check up on me when I was a new widow, and finally, after about 6 months, he said, "Mother, I'm really worried about you. Every time I come over, you're sitting there in the same chair in the same ratty bathrobe, and you're staring at the television
Chenille?
set." No, velour. Staring at the TV, and Mom, that wouldn't bother me so much if the TV was turned on. So I started this organization and made a whole lot of new friends, and we have all these social activities. It's not just support groups. And I think it was a high point of my life when I had to get an answer phone to handle all the calls that were coming in, because this was before we had an office or anything. And I got this wonderful call from my son at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. "Where are you? Any respectable widow would be home in her bed on a Saturday night." I said, "How do you want it? You want me sitting there in the bathrobe or out having a good time?" So, when I started the organization, I remember saying that my goal for it was to have a calendar where every day of the month there was something a widowed person in Sacramento could do if they wanted companionship. And I never dreamed that would come to pass in such a short period of time. But we have a very busy social calendar. It's not just support groups. We have trips to Reno and Tahoe, and we have theater things, and we have other kinds of travel. We have potlucks and luncheons, and there's a South Sacramento group that meets for breakfast every Friday. And there's pinochle group and bridge groups and other kinds of game groups, and there's something going on all the time.
Yeah, and any book clubs or anything like that? Any intellectual pursuits, or is it just fun and games?
Well, all of it, even when it's fun and games, is still a support group, because you are with people who've experienced the same thing you have, and you don't feel so alone. But intellectual pursuits, we did have chess for a while. Does that count?
It's according if they used their mind when they did it, I guess. So let's see. You have a lot of these groups, and who runs these groups? Do you have to be there all the time, or
No.
does Jim have to be there?
The best thing about this organization is it's all been done with volunteers all the way through from the very beginning. I was lucky to have helping me at the onset a marvelous man whose background, like mine, was in group dynamics. And we trained facilitators, and We have tried once or twice having so-called professionals, but professionals don't do it with widows and widowers unless they're also widows and widowers. So our professionals are all people who have lived through this process and worked out a new life for themselves. And we have this support group that Jim mentioned every Sunday from 3 to 5 o'clock every Sunday of the year, even Christmas and New Year's. And that's staffed by our trained facilitators. And this meets at our office at 2628 El Camino Avenue.
I want to say that again.
2628 El Camino Avenue, Suite D18. And we're there every Sunday of the year from 3 to 5 p.m. And new widows and widowers are invited to come. And if they want to, some of them have brought a son or a daughter. And you don't have to be newly widowed to come to this. It's all a community service, and it's about meeting new friends and starting a new life and getting through the pain and misery of it all.
Yeah, it looks like Jim has something here to say.
We also have a library, too.
A library,
And the doors for Sunday support open at 2:30, half an hour prior to 3 o'clock. So, so it's really a good thing for people to come. They usually all go out to dinner afterwards. So that helps,
Do they go the same place all the time so that people
They
know
go
that
wherever.
they might...
Yes, they usually do, but they've changed. They change back and forth. So, but the main thing is that, and this I should have gone in sooner. I wish I had gone in sooner to the Widowed Persons Association. If you know what you're going through and understand it, it would be much easier.
Makes it easier to know the process of grieving and that kind of thing.
You accept it a little bit better. You know you're going through it, and you know it won't last forever.
And you know that you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. Right.
Great.
That's the thing that most people say is so helpful about our groups, is that you find that you're among a bunch of people who are all in the same boat. You don't feel like you're hanging out there all by yourself in the wilderness. And what Jim just said about if he'd understood what he was going through, we do 5 4-week programs a year that meet once a week for 2 hours. And the first week of that, we always talk about understanding grief, what it is and how it affects you and what you can do to fight back. And then we talk about coping with depression, and we talk about how all the roles and relationships in your life change when you become a widowed person. In fact, our group meets tomorrow night, and I'm going to be talking about the Helen Crow 13-step program, which I dreamed up in a moment of bad inspiration about 3 months ago.
Well,
One of the things on my 13-step program is get a pet.
Okay, so if you want to ask Helen a little bit more about her 13-step program, give us a call at 456-5199. Or if you have something else that's off the subject, you just bring it up to us, because there is a lot of experience in this room right now. Jim?
Oh, yes. And then, the 5th week is the potluck dinner. And this is to be the first social event for those that have gone through the workshop.
What's a 5th week?
Well, what program that Helen just spoke of, it takes 4 weeks.
Oh,
She is in the 4th week tomorrow night.
I see what you mean.
And now at some time, either a week or a month, they'll have a potluck dinner, this group. And that's supposedly their first social event that they after their grief, see, but it's not really. But
that their step one.
Step one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have other social events. They go on to that. Last Friday night was St. Patrick's Party, which was great. So
This
we
is
do
the
continue it
whole
on.
Yeah. So tell me this: is there like an age range, or can anybody come? Because I had a friend who was a widow when she was in her 20s. And had 3 children and was left alone. And
Oh yes, everybody's welcome, but we don't get too many 20-year-olds. They're pretty heartbreaking.
Are they?
Yeah. So.
You don't let them in because they're heartbreaking?
We let them in. Oh yeah. But you really feel for them. They're so young,
So you have a lot of empathy for them.
Oh yeah. Well, for all of them, because you know what they're going through, and you know that time will help them. No matter what they do, time will help. But we try to give motivation and skills, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Not for everybody, but then, you can't hit 100% all the time.
Yeah, so what might be your average age, or, what is the range of the ages, so people know that, they're going to a group where they can feel comfortable?
Honestly,
If they're an ageist and
the men about 55 on up,
Mm-hmm.
and the women about 55 on up,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess.
We have had, over the years, clusters of young people, and at one time we even had a family group for young widows and widowers that were still working and had children. And, what happened is they all got remarried.
To each other?
Pretty much,
Uh-huh.
or to others, but that worked out pretty well for a while. But, people think, oh, well, if I'm a young widow or widower, I wouldn't fit in there. But it's amazing how soon they feel it at home, regardless of the age difference. I think, most of our people are over 50, because that's the point at which people mostly die of natural causes. I do want to mention that every third Monday of every month, we have a buffet, no-host dinner, meaning you pay for your own, at the Plaza Hofbrau, which is at the corner of Watt and El Camino in Sacramento. And it starts at 6 o'clock, and it's particularly for new or prospective members, people that want to know what we're about. And, you stand in line and get your dinner, and then we have a private room, and people introduce themselves, and you learn about the organization. That's the third Monday of every month, and the third Saturday of every month at our office, we have an orientation for new and prospective members where they can learn all about the organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage people to come to one of those.
You have all these wonderful activities with all these different days and dates. Is there a way for them to get some kind of a newsletter that gives all that information, or a sheet or something like that?
Yes, we have a 8-page newsletter. It goes out every month. It's one of our major operating expenses. And you can call 972-9722. That's our office. It's open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and somebody will be happy to take the information and send you a newsletter.
So these, I take it, are volunteers.
Everyone in the organization is a volunteer and a widowed person.
And some of you out there might want to give some of your skills to that. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes.
This is The Voice.
Okay, and light, camera, and action! Grab your hot buttered popcorn and get ready to enjoy the show. You're invited to take a front row seat with host Dave Fox on The Movie Score Weekly. Each and every week, Dave Fox brings you all your favorite music straight from the big screen. Listen as Dave goes behind the scenes to keep you informed on all your favorite movie composers, film release dates, and so much more. The Movie Score Weekly even features some of the rarest soundtracks in the music business, all in pure stereo. So join the fun each Thursday night starting at 8 and rebroadcast at 8 a.m. Friday mornings. You'll want to catch all the action. Don't miss The Movie Score Weekly.
For over 35 years, Peace Corps volunteers have been solving problems around the world. Many continue their commitment to service right here at home. Meet Dr. Javad Mashkouri, a returned volunteer from Mali, West Africa, who is now making a difference in his community.
I joined the Peace Corps because it gave me an opportunity to do something worthwhile in a place that was much different than the place that I grew up and knew. When I got to Mali, it blew me away. My job was to train local masons and well diggers to construct safe drinking water wells. Peace Corps showed me what happens when you don't have access to health care. We were providing clean water, which to everyone there is health, and we try to do the same thing here by providing health care. I'd recommend the Peace Corps to anyone that was thinking about any job. It's given me more self-confidence in dealing with patients and other people. And I think in Peace Corps you learn the value of service. You're going to want to be in that position to give service back.
Peace Corps volunteers, changing the world, changing America. Make a difference. Call 800-424-8580. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
The Voice and Access Sacramento are helping to make a difference. Just ask Charmy Silva of Weave.
Weave is an agency in Sacramento. It stands for Women Escaping a Violent Environment. Our agency's been around about 20 years. Mainly, we're an agency that offers counseling for victims of domestic violence or dating violence. We offer counseling for male perpetrators of domestic violence, and we also offer counseling for victims of sexual assault. I am creating a video for sexual assault awareness that I will be using in the classroom. I go out into many high schools throughout Sacramento, and I've been able to create the project by taking classes at Access to learn how to use the camera and do the editing, so I'm able to do everything myself.
Charmy Silva is one of many Access members who've learned to help make a difference in our community. Get involved by becoming a member of Access Sacramento. Call us at 456-8600. Access Sacramento, making a difference, one voice at a time.
Sacramento's community radio, The Voice.
And now we're back with Action Callers with I'm Reva Camiel, your host, and I'm here with our Changemaker guests. We have Helen Crow, who is the founder of the Widowers Association, and we also have the current president. And this has been an organization that's been going on for about 20 years and has just kept on growing and growing. And you can call them at 456-5199. They're looking forward to your calls and maybe helping you with whatever project that you want to do. So now at this time, I want to ask, how did new projects get going? You have that huge newsletter with all kinds of things. How do those get going? Who starts them? I mean, did you, the president, or the
I started
founder?
some of them in the first few months, but it's kind of been interesting how that happens. I remember we have an activity called Chat and Chew, which is kind of a drop-in dinner every couple of weeks at different restaurants, and we have a chairman for that and all. But it got started because a widower, a lot like Jim, said to me one day, you know,
This is
I think
The
the hardest
Voice.
part for me is dinner time. I'm a lousy cook, and I hate to eat out all alone. We ought to have some kind of dinner informal where people can just come if they want to. I said, Chuck, we're going to call it Chat and Chew, and you're in charge. And that activity is still going on after 17 years. So somebody comes up with an idea, whether it's we have bowling and golf, and I say, well, that's a good idea, but somebody has to be the chairman, and you're it. And nobody has ever said no. That's the amazing thing.
Oh, you mean these people in your organization, if they complain about something, you put them right to work right away?
Absolutely. And one thing I'm very careful about, I never criticize the job somebody else is doing unless I'm willing to do it myself. And anymore, I'm not willing to do it myself.
Yeah, what are you doing with yourself right now, Helen?
Well, I work 6 to 4. I don't know how often I work. I work Monday through Thursday for my wonderful dentist, John Pearson, who is also an active recruitment person for our organization. He always lets me know if a patient's spouse has died, so I can get in touch with him, and he lets me give out pamphlets about the Widowed Persons Association at the dentist office. And I do a lot of traveling and a lot of reading, and I have 3 grandchildren in the area and a son and a dog that requires a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm. So projects come from the people who come to the organization out of a need that they have or something that they want to do. Like if they want to play golf and have some company, you start a group. You
That's
make
how
an
it works,
announcement.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. So if any of you want to get active in a great organization that keeps you busy and keeps you interested and gives you friends and gives you places to see and go, give Jane, Helen, I don't know why I said Jane and Jim a call, and you can call them here right now at 916-456-5199. Can you tell me a little bit some of the other benefits of the organization to your members and the other members of the community? How do you help?
How do we help? Well, I think the first thing that we've already covered, which is we give people a sense that they are not alone in what they're going through. And as Jim said, we help them to understand what it is, this grief process, and how it affects you and how you can fight back. But, once you get past the active mourning part of it, people need to rebuild their lives because their married friends drift away, their children have lives of their own, and they need people to do other things with. And that's why we have so many great friendships that have developed over the years in this organization. And I should probably also mention a lot of second marriages.
Wow, second marriages, huh?
Jim could probably tell you some more about that.
Yeah, how about it, Jim? A little bit about the second marriages. Did you get one of those second marriages?
No.
Not interested.
No, its question is I don't think it's you couldn't be good in the widowed persons if you were married. You can't hold elective office or anything like that or vote. We have associate members. And they can belong, and each chapter decides that by themselves. Ours decided they would.
So actually what you're saying is when you took this job as president, you kind of gave yourself a year to not get married?
Oh, yes.
That's part of it?
A year or more and more,
A year or more.
So
you get a lot of dance partners and things like that?
Oh, we have a dance every second and fourth Tuesday at the Hickory Room up in Country Club Plaza in the bowling alley there.
What time?
7 to 10. I think it's a very nominal $6 or $7.
Most of your fees on things nominal?
Everything has to be self-paying, self-supporting, and otherwise, you'd go broke.
The organization would go broke.
Oh, yes, very easily.
Yeah, so is there a membership fee?
Yes, there is. $50 a year.
And they get that office help and all that kind of stuff? You wanted to say something?
We're all volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no charge at all for any of the support group activities. You can come to Sunday support every Sunday for as many years as you need it. You can come to our 4-week programs, and you can come to the newcomers buffet that I mentioned on the third Monday at Plaza Hofbrau. But if you want to be a part of the organization and be eligible to go to all of the vast array of social activities and trips and theaters and things, then there is a $50 a year membership fee, which you can't even subscribe to Time Magazine anymore for that. And this is necessary because we have this huge office there on El Camino Avenue and this big newsletter to mail every month.
So,
The Voice is KYDS 91.5 FM, Sacramento.
and now we're back on Action Callers, and you were in the middle of a sentence, and what do you see as the problems you need to solve in the near future in your organization? I don't think any organization is problem-free. Anything that's coming up in the near future that you need to do some planning about or organizing around, and you might even have some help out there in the community that might want to support you?
Well, I think one of our biggest problems is always getting the word out of who we are and where we are and how to get in touch with us. Jim's had a brilliant idea as president this year of the Sacramento chapter. He's appointed 2 dynamic widowers as a recruitment team, Dick Cannon and Bob Bowman, and they are going around to hospitals and doctors' offices and funeral homes and churches and other places in the community giving out our pamphlets so that people will know about us.
That's fantastic. And how is that working for your group right now?
Yeah, we're increasing the membership, and that's important because our rent is going to go up. So we're also trying to look for other facilities. McClellan is closing, and we hope there'd be a building perhaps up there that we could get real dirt cheap from the county, But,
okay, well, if any county people are listening in and you know of a room that they can get dirt cheap, give us a call at 916-456-5199 for Helen and Jim.
We need much more than a room. Our present offices on El Camino, we have a large group room for board meetings and potluck dinners and bridge parties. And then there's a president's office, a treasurer's office, a support group office, a membership chairman's office, and a reception area. So it takes a lot of people to make this work. And I wanted to mention that we do have in the Sacramento area more than 800 members right here in Sacramento, and we have chapters in Roseville, Placerville, Tracy, Lodi, Stockton, South Lake Tahoe, Nevada City, Grass Valley, Yuba City. So we are reaching out.
Just Sacramento itself has all those other
More than
groups?
800 members in Sacramento alone. Statewide, there are almost 3,000 members in our 20 chapters.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you're pretty big, but I hear you saying you're open to more people who are wanting to find some peace of mind and find friends and find things that they enjoy doing.
Our workshop and our Sunday support are community services. There's no charge or anything for anyone to come to them. They're free as but the thing is, it helps people to get started again, and it's very difficult. You can give up or you can go on.
Let me ask you this. I'm a counselor in this community, and I often see people who are in the grieving process at one point or another, and I could see where this organization would be very good for them to attend. Some of the people do. My guess is when they're in the heavy duty grief, that your organization isn't set up for that, or is it? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, it's set up for that.
So people can come in a few days after their friends have left to go home and their relatives have left, and you have peer counselors. Is that what you have?
Well, they could go to a Sunday support group.
Sunday,
And from there on they go on. A lot of times, the first few weeks they'd rather just sit.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be better if they would get out.
What do you think about that, Helen, about individual counseling?
I want to tell you that a lot of our referrals to the organization do come from the hospices in Sacramento. All of the hospices associated with the local hospitals have sent us people. The psychologists, the psychiatrists, the clergy, funeral homes. So a lot of the professionals are advising people to get in touch with us. I think that the term peer counseling probably is close to what we do, but, I'm just a great believer in the support group program. I've been involved with it one way or another all my life, and it does work when people meet other people in their shoes, whether it's Alcoholics Anonymous or whether it's
Codependency Anonymous,
or survivors of suicide. I don't care what the organization. The big thing that widowed people need in the early weeks and months is to talk about the person they've lost, because so often family and friends won't let them do that. Oh, we don't want mom to cry, so don't mention dad. Or you go out with your married friends and you're like the ghost of Christmas yet to come to them because you're so conscious of the fact that you are no longer part of being a couple, and they're not going to let you talk about the person that's gone because they think it would upset you, and if you get upset, they can't handle it.
Okay, so what you're saying is, and I agree with you, I think groups are one of the most powerful things, support groups, AA, as you said, and Narcotics Anonymous, Codependency Anonymous, Sex Anonymous. All of these different programs are very helpful, where you have a place to talk without somebody judging you and somebody telling you how you should think and how you should do it, but let you go through your process. And to know about the process of grief. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the process of grief and maybe your 13 steps?
Oh, I can't remember them all unless I have them written down in front of me, but I think one of the things that's very seldom mentioned in connection with grief is anger. A lot of people's biggest reaction to grief is anger. I know mine was. I was mad at God. I was mad at the fates. I was mad at my husband for leaving me. Now, that may sound irrational, but nobody said grief necessarily had to be rational. A depression may go along with that, and we talk a lot about that in groups and how to overcome it. And then there's the business about guilt. A lot of people think, oh, if only I had done this, and if only I had done that, if I had gotten him to the hospital sooner, or made him go see a doctor. So we talk about guilt. And I think, we have these various, I don't want to call them stages of grief because that's kind of passé, but they're common emotional reactions that people have. And we talk about that in group, and, I will go around the room and say, well, tell me, how do you cope when that happens to you? And it's people helping people. It's that simple.
Very good. So if you want to talk to Helen or Jim or me, Reva Camiel, give me a call at 456-5199. That's Sacramento area code 916-456-5199. Any other steps that people go through or things that they can do? What have you got there? Would you care to share that?
Jim is so much more efficient than I am. He's come up with these remarks I made at a workshop last August, and I never did write them down in any coherent form. But I think one of the most important things early on in the grieving process is to choose the attitude that you want to adopt for the rest of your life. Our mothers and grandmothers had a perfectly terrible role model in Queen Victoria, who spent 60 years mourning the death of her husband, Prince Albert. She laid a place for him at the dinner table every night, and I have heard even slept with a picture of him laid out in his coffin hanging over his side of the bed. That's becoming a professional widow. So I think you have to choose whether it's going to be poor me, and you sit around feeling sorry for yourself the rest of your life and being a pain in the neck to your children and the friends that survived, if they'll still hang out with you after all that. Or you have to say, old Jewish expression, the man says, why me? And God's response was, why not you? So it isn't a case of poor me. It's saying, look, other people this has happened to. It's the end result of an intact marriage is that somebody dies. Now, I can sit around and feel sorry for myself and be depressed, or I can get going and make a new life for the years I have left to me.
Okay, and that doesn't mean they have to do it in the first couple of weeks, though.
No, it's probably going to take a couple of years. But you have to make the first step.
Yeah, and that's, saying to yourself, hey, I'm in a bad space now, and I'm going to grieve. And, I even have a kind of a pom-pom that I take out when I'm feeling sad and I'm having a hard time letting my feelings out because, here I'm the big old professional and I'm supposed to be strong. But I have this pom-pom I take out and I cheer myself on to crying when I'm feeling sad so that I get it out of my system so I don't carry those negative feelings in my body. And it feels really good to cry if you don't beat yourself up. And so you don't want to get the whip out and beat yourself. You want to get out the pom-pom and encourage yourself to honor the person that you loved, to let yourself cry, to be with your feelings, and not kind of false feelings, like trying to be the perfect widow, which in old days, like you said, it was laying out a dinner plate.
A life sentence.
A life sentence, yeah. And so we're just about ready to have a break right now, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes, and you can call us after the break at 456-5199. You can even call right now, and they'll take your message and get us ready for you. So we really do look forward to hearing from you, and you must be interested in what Helen and Jim have to say, and so we enjoy telling you and having you hear about their organization and the philosophy behind their organization.
Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the voice.
Listen to America Today on The Voice every Wednesday evenings from 8 to 10. Is the UN good for Americans? What's behind free trade? Where is our culture going? And are we a free people? And what is freedom? Where is America headed? We'll answer these questions from a different perspective. So open your mind and listen to America Today, Wednesday evenings 8 to 10 on The Voice.
This is a story about American heroes. They changed quite a few lives last year. Jorge Vasquez put out fires, but no, he's not a firefighter. Philip Dale discovered several new stars. Oh, he's not an astronomer. and Elaine Capobianco. She saved a child from drowning, but she's not a lifeguard. They're teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
I'm a teacher. The children are the heroes.
We're not just teaching subject matter, we're teaching human beings.
I am tough as nails, but they know that I love them.
I mean, we've got a legacy that follows behind us forever.
Teachers have the power to make an impact on our future. California will need about 250,000 more of them in the next 10 years. Reach for that power. Teach. Call 1-888-CAL-TEACH now. A public service message brought to you by CalTeach, the Ad Council, and this station.
We're talking with Bill Cerruti of Sacramento's Italian Cultural Society. Bill, so many Italian things are popular now. Italian clothes, Italian food, movies. How can we find out more about Italian things?
Easy. Join the nonprofit Italian Cultural Society. We sponsored Italian Lending Library, Italian language classes, Italian films, and numerous Italian-style social events, even a big Italian festa. We also underwrite an Italian-American youth group, Italian singing and dancing groups, the radio program, Sacramento Italian Style, and a newsletter called Altre Voci.
Do you have to be of Italian ancestry to join?
No, just enjoy things Italian.
How can you find out more about the Italian Cultural Society?
Call our hotline. Leave your name and phone number and we'll have someone get back to you. Call Italy 00. That's ITALY 00. Or if you prefer numbers, 482-5900.
Grazie.
Prego.
This is the voice.
And now we're back on Action Callers with our two guests, Jim McShane and Helen Crow from the Widows Association of Sacramento. And you can talk to them at 456-5199, area code 916, and we'll be here for the next few minutes to talk. And you can also email any questions or things that you might have for them to our new email letter box, or whatever we call it. It's our new number is Action Callers, ACTIONS Callers, CALLERS .hotmail.com. And so really would like to receive email from you and learn about you and who the people are who are listening. Really would like to know some of those things so that we can gauge this program to meet your needs. And it looks like Jim wants to say something about depression. It seems to be a really important thing in this process, and he wants to tell us about it.
Yeah, in fact, I would say everyone goes through depression. I don't care who they are. When you lose your spouse, you get depressed.
Yeah, even if you're not mad at them, or even if you're...
yes, they get guilt trips then.
So sometimes the guilt is even more, huh?
Yeah, guilt and depression. But like the way we handle it is if they're not eating and they're not sleeping, we advise them to go to a doctor, seek professional help. Otherwise, we tell them to walk a lot, exercise, get out in the air. And that will relieve their depression quicker than anything I know.
Yeah, I have a little technique I bring to some of my clients, and I do it for myself. It's to, if you look down towards your stomach, if you hold your head down, and if you can find your stomach, or it's right there looking at you, if you're looking down, that will bring up negative feelings. Bad feelings come up when you look down. And so if you want to let go of some depression, what you do is look up and out. Look up and out the window. Go up, get outside, and look out. Do not walk with your head down. If you have your head down, you will have depressed thoughts. So that's sometimes, and I find for myself, sometimes when I'm feeling a little depressed, I'm looking down, and I say to myself, Reva, you should look up so you wouldn't be so depressed. And I say back to myself, I want to be depressed a little bit longer. And so it's at that point that I know depression at times can be a choice. And you want to be careful about making that a choice because it can get catchy and you can get addicted to that behavior.
Well, the other difficult thing for widowed people, immediately is to, as Mary Toohey says, things will never be the same. But I have my way of saying it, and that part of your life is over. And that is a very difficult thing to say to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That part of my life is over. But, if you don't realize it, then you're not being too realistic, because it is over. It'll never
and
come back.
And you have some good memories.
Oh, we're supposed to bring your memories into your new life. Always bring your memories with you. And you should talk about your lost spouse. I see no reason not to. In fact, I think it helps people.
You're saying to talk to your spouse, your new spouse?
No, talk to your friends. Bring your spouse. Don't bring her name up or his or her name up,
Yeah.
And that helps. So it's a very deep subject, and I think that, if, like I say, if you understand what you're going through, it will be much easier, and that's where we can help, really.
Okay, and so what is it they're going through? What do you tell a person that they're going through?
Depression, guilt, anger, denial. I used to get real angry, shock, yeah. I used to get angry at the American River Hospital.
Because that's where she died?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have
one nurse in particular, but no, it's...
have you forgiven her yet?
Oh, yeah, it's passed down the hill, water over the
Yeah, forgiveness is an important thing, too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So, Helen, would you go ahead with, I guess, I don't know where I got that.
I don't even look like a Jane. One of the things that we tell people to do because it's incompatible with depression is to exercise. Now, this is not my favorite activity. I finally broke down and bought a life cycle. But you have to
use it?
Oh, yes. You have to be physically active. And when you get down in the dumps, if you go for a brisk walk or ride a bicycle or do something physical. I mean, we have members that are into square dancing and all that. My knees are too shot for that activity. But I do walk my dog and I do ride my life cycle. And as I say, I work part-time. And I think you need to stay active. The other thing about the grieving period is a lot of people can't sleep or can't eat, and they are not taking care of themselves, and the next thing you know, they're getting sick. If we have members who are not eating and not sleeping, we usually do ask them to talk about getting professional help, and sometimes that may include medication for a while. I'm certainly not opposed to that. Prozac has been wonderful for a lot of people. But one of my 13 steps is to be kind to yourself, and that includes to exercise regularly and get sufficient sleep.
Well, how about a bubble bath?
Whatever it takes to feel good. And, I tell people that you should keep a journal. A lot of people are resistant to this, but it's an amazing tool because if you write down your feelings in a journal or make it letters to your no longer living spouse, you are able to look back on that, and even when you think you're not making progress, you can see how your feelings are changing over a period of time, and it's a very useful tool. And I also tell people to make plans and keep them and keep busy. Now, for me, that was a nonstop shopping spree for a year. I finally decided that wasn't the way to handle it. I remember one lady in a group who made 13 dozen cookies every week, but I don't think that's a good idea either. But, involve
Did she eat
yourself.
them all?
I think she gave them all away. I don't think she ate any of them. I think you have to involve yourself in the lives of others, and that doesn't necessarily mean being an unpaid babysitter for your grandchildren, but get out there and do some things and keep yourself moving. Volunteer, help others, because helping others usually helps you too. And, I say get a pet. Not everyone is set up to have a pet, but you can call the SPCA and go out there and do some volunteer work with them. One of the things they always need is people to help socialize animals, and that means taking the dogs for a little walk or cuddling the kittens. And you just can't stay depressed if you're petting a dog or cuddling a kitten.
Just last week I put out a need that I had for this show, because this program is a volunteer program. And we have Steve Baylog and Diane Matar and Michael Geller who are working with me. And we also, last week when I put out a call for somebody to do a web page, got a call, and a woman called, and she came to see me 2 days later, and she's got the web page almost complete, and it should be, on the web where everybody can get it next week. And we also got the email through her, and her name is Donna Reynolds, and so she is helping me, and she's excited about doing the work for this station. And I could be using some other help. I could use some, office help. And so if anybody wants to do some typing and things like that and keeping track of a few things, that would be very useful too. So call us at 916-456-9159. I can't even remember my name right now, 5199. And yes, thank you, Steve, 456-5199. And just as I just think it's been so wonderful to have the two of you here, Jim and Helen, Jim McShane and Helen Crow. Just your energy, I'm sure the people who are listening are inspired and will begin to think about what they can do to make a difference, not necessarily in the widowers group, but for those who would be good for that group, yes. And for those of you who want to work on this radio show, yes. And those who want to work on the Mideast Peace Project, yes. Whatever you want to be doing, something that really interests you, something that's fun for you, something that makes you mad.
And learn something new.
Yeah.
I urge everyone to try to find out who you were before you were part of a couple. And I urge everyone to start to believe that one is a whole number. And for me, one of the new things to learn, and since my husband died, has been computer skills. And, you can be home and alone in the middle of the night and find people to talk to on the internet. It's really fun.
Well, great. So thank you again. And at this time, I also want to thank a few other people. I want to once again thank our committed volunteers, Steve Baylog, who's an engineer in transportation here in California. And he's one of our engineers who learned how to keep this program on the air. Also with us today is Diane Matar, who just returned from volunteering her many skills in far-off India. And this is her second time to go there and give herself and share herself and allow herself to be given to by the people in India. I too had gone to India a few years ago, and they really gave me a lot. I thought I was giving, but I was getting. And again, our newest volunteer, Donna Reynolds, who is building our webpage and who will manage that. And within a week, it'll be on the air. So again, our email address is currently functioning. So write to me at actioncallers@hotmail.com. Again, actioncallers@hotmail.com. Remember, your voice can be heard on this station, FM 91.5, by telephoning me, Reva Camiel, at 916-456-5199. This is a state-of-the-art program where we will use every form of communication, written or spoken, to become seekers of solutions for the many problems that face our planet. Be part of the solution rather than being a part of the problem. We will use the messes in our life to get semi-well-ordered solutions. Again, thanks so much, Helen and Jim, for your ongoing energy towards creating a world that is ongoingly being created by all of us. Thank you all for your support to our community, planet Earth.